Big old box, huh, OG? So we got the UniFi G2 NVR. I think it's the 1U model. And no, UniFi did not send this for review. We purchased this with our own funds, not any kind of sanctioned review video deal. So we can definitely say it like it is. If I don't like or do like the features, I mean, if I don't like, I'll just sell it, right? Because that's the good thing about UniFi stuff. It definitely holds its value. So we have a crate inside of a crate, OG. So it's definitely packed well. Let's just do this. Boom, right? What we get inside? We have, looks like the rails for when it goes in the rack. We won't be using that right now. We have some more foam. UniFi box. What's inside here? Power cable. Oh, it is the locking style. Assuming some screws, accessories. I'm not going to bore you with all of that. It's always cool the way that UniFi packs everything. Still not as cool as I think the G6 Bullet was. That one was packed pretty awesome. So we're going to pull out this bad boy. Ooh, it's got some heft to it. So I think I've got like 2 or 3 hard drives I want to put in this. I don't remember the size of them. Definitely interesting design. With the way different than the previous 1U, it looks like they've got some vents on the top, above and below the hard drives. The trays look somewhat the same. No, actually, they do want you to put 1 screw in the tray, unlike the previous model. Okay, so definitely different trays. And they don't have the little stickers on the front. Let's see what's party on the back, right? We got 3 fans. More fans than I have. Then we've got the power port. So we've got the redundant power. I won't be using that. I'm not bougie, big baller and all that. Looks like we have 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. And then you've got 10 gigabit SFP. This is one of the reasons why I bought this. Well, because of the new features, the AI stuff with the analytics and everything and more cameras. Currently using some cameras on the UCG fiber. But the viewport, I wanted to be able to feed this into my HDMI switch. So kind of curious to see how that's being built in with the viewport. We're going to be using regular AC mains, but yeah, let's get this thing fired up. And I will be, just for initial testing, I haven't even unboxed it. It is the G6 180, and I did buy this with my funds as well. So we're going to pair this up, try this out together, and just see how this also works with some third-party cameras. I'm curious to see how it works, like doing LPR and things like that. So definitely stay tuned. So we've had the UNVR G2, a lot of different letters. I'll probably just call it the G2 or UNVR by Ubiquiti, UniFi Protect. Lots of words and things. Actually, I have it connected to this screen right there. I don't have it fed into my HDMI matrix that I have Blue Iris and other things in, but that is my ultimate goal. Hopefully, with some software upgrades, we'll be able to get rid of Blue Iris totally. Maybe, but that's what we're going to talk about. So the UNVR G2, yeah, I'm going to struggle with it this whole video. Sorry. It is rather cool. Of course, as of right now, of course, prices are always in flux. It is $700. It's a little steep for an NVR, but you do get a lot of bang with it. Of course, you do get the 4 hard drive bays. Do wish we could do separate volumes. So one thing I wish they would allow us to do is have different volumes even in this 4 drive unit because just hard drives prices are crazy right now with the big AI boom. Maybe one day that'll pop, but I guess we're feeding into the AI stuff. I would have 2 hard drives that are the same, but then what if I want to do like a different volume of some SSDs or different drives? I want to be able to throw them in here and pop it in and call it a day. But you really need to do, if you look at the documentation, is to have 4 of the same drives in this unit. But for what you get in the box, it's pretty damn amazing because of the capacity. You're being able to do like 60 HD cameras, 52K, not total together, but it's like this whole thing. It shows you the capacity, like 34K cameras in this one U, which should fit in the rack nicely. Got a new little different, vent design, but this does has that typical, ubiquity UniFi silver that you see everybody showing off their racks on Reddit. And no, not that kind of rack. We are just showing hardware. Now, one thing that interested me when I first saw this come out, because right now I do run like 4 cameras with an AI port on my UCG fiber, but this one does have the built-in HDMI viewport. I think the viewport's like $200, $300. And then it's got this built-in AI stuff that's supposed to, analyze everything and be able to search things, kind of like that AI key that's like $800 and been out of stock for a while. And yeah, you can see pile this all in together. It's kind of a deal for $700. Now they do have a G2 Pro, and I do think it's just additional capacity, of course, way out of my budget, and it's out of stock, but you do get 8 hard drives over there. Now on to the UniFi Protect actual console. So right now I do have 2 hard drives in it. If you're curious of the wattage, just have two 7200 RPM hard drives in it, and it was pulling like around 27 to 28 watts. Not bad at all. Now, as the recording of this video, I do have Protect 7.1.77. I know software is going to evolve quickly with this thing. So do check, your latest versions of this. I have the latest early access on here. Now, as I talked about before, I do have a few cameras in it. I have some third-party cameras. I have my AI port, and I did want to talk about the AI port. I had a little bit of a struggle trying to get it paired with the G2, but just make sure it's on the same IP range because it's not going to dip over to the different subnets like you would see, say, on a UCG fiber where it had everything to it since it is the actual router. Once you get that on there, it'll pair right up. I did pop in my LPR, and then I did this other South Peak one. I think it's like a 4 megapixel, and that's pretty much the limit of that AI port right there. Now, I did see some issues with real link cameras. And yeah, if you've been around stuff if with different other NVRs, absolutely there's been real link issues with all like the Blue Iris, software NVR, even Frigate and others. So it does not surprise me to see some issues that I've had with trying to put in some real link cameras in the UNVR G2. I had one camera and it totally had the stuff turned 180, even though it was a 180-degree one. It was wild. I have another flood in here, and this is an image from several days ago, and it just locks up. And you can see, I think that's the one trying to go on the top screen there. Um, Really, I can say is probably I would stick to, just stay in the ecosystem of the UniFi Protect stuff. Just stick with those cameras. I do wish that I could afford to replace all of my cameras, but I run several different NVR systems, probably have over 20 something cameras in my house, or not in my house, but in the house itself. And yeah, just I can't replace them all. And then there's just some cameras that UniFi doesn't offer, like this LPR that I use has a crazy zoom on it where I'm actually catching plates at 150 feet out. And I can't do that with the LPR that UniFi gives because I think it's only like a 3x laughable. optical zoom that's not going to get probably my driveway. One surprising thing was the right here was the Tapo camera. Just a cheap Tapo TP-Link camera, and it popped right in. I did have RTSP set up on there. It actually has been working well. A little Wi-Fi camera. It does pick up on some of the OnVIF events. I mean, it's they just added that in the recent version of UniFi Protect. It does have just motion events. I wish they would go in there and throw in like some of the other smart events that you get from some other cameras. But you can see this is OG's little bearded dragon hanging out there. And yeah, that's just why we have that cheap little, I think we got that camera for like 20 bucks. And it works great for being able to check in on this bearded dragon that's trying to take a nap after eating too many crickets. And yes, if you're new to the channel, OG is my son, and that is his real initials. So this is where the cool stuff comes into play, is with the whole AI key thing, because like you won't see this find anything on the UCG fiber. So see, this is the UCG fiber. You can see this weirdo coming in the door. There is no find anything right there. But when we pop over to the Gen 2, we get this find anything right here. So we can do stuff with, say, like black shirt. We can find somebody in a black shirt. Black shirt, pink shorts. I'm curious, will it work with that? Let's just see pink shorts. Pink shorts. There you go. So it's very beneficial if like you're trying to help out somebody with the neighborhood and being able to like find someone in like a clothing description. It does pretty good. You know, that with the, I guess the level of things, like it did blue shirt. You can see all these blue shirt. Now, I guess that's purple, but I guess you could change the confidence level on that. This one, you know, it's just okay, I guess. I guess you could change like some of the best match and you really wanted to get nitty gritty. Down to, hey, can we find let's try a red truck. So that's pretty good there. I do really like this feature for digging into all the different things, but it doesn't work across your third party cameras. It's only going to work across the, I guess is the AI based ones. Does that work on the older ones? I just don't have any of the older UniFi Protect cameras to really say on that. So I just have some of the, like I talked about before, I have the G6 180 that I bought and I paired with this. I've been using that. And let's take a look and just see. So like red truck. Yeah, you can see there's the red truck passing. It shows everything. I will say the interface gets somewhat weird when you're playing with this, but you know, it's just got its own little quirks. I do kind of like some of the things. It's just when you like you try to grab, you're grabbing this. I think you have to grab this icon up here, which helps you move around. You can see there's that red truck. And then, of course, they do have the iOS Android app as well. Not going to get into this because this is not like a whole like UniFi Protect video, but maybe there are some people this is new. You like to see some of the different things of being able to, you know, a simple, I would say simple, but it's an easy camera system you can throw in somewhere if you have the budget to do so. Now, I've tried stuff like putting in female, male. It doesn't do well with that. So just you have to play with your stuff. Like I've also tried UPS. Don't see UPS. But if you did stuff like delivery truck or delivery van, I think is what I was doing, then you could find some of the delivery vans. Now, I did search for like Amazon before, but you would think it would be able to find Amazon because, yeah, that's Frigate does. And it's able to see that big logo and calls it Amazon. I'll show you some screenshots from Frigate later on because I wanted to talk about the LPR issues I've had. Hopefully they'll fix some of this stuff with software. So the facial recognition stuff, you can find the faces, you can categorize the faces. I've put several in there. The facial recognition stuff is just not great for me at this time. I've played with it a lot on the UCG fiber and tried to put people's faces in here. And it just like you can see this, like I've put myself in there multiple times and as trying to categorize it, but it picks it up sometimes, picks up the wife sometimes, but you can see it didn't pick me up again. I mean, I guess I'm maybe I'm not teaching it right for some reason, or I need to teach it more. I don't think it's gonna pick up a face like that. I don't even know why it has that face on there. It looks like the annoying stuff you see on the news when they take a picture of the video screen of an NVR with a shaky hand. That annoys the hell out of me. Yeah, so then the license plate thing. So let's jump on over there. The license plate thing, I do have the AI port feeding off of a Daiwa based third party camera. And that it has a great optical zoom. I can tell you this video right here is probably, I think I've measured it out to this mailbox. It's like 150 feet from my house. And that's really about all I can put on the camera. It's a nice choke point. Put it at the angle. I've tweaked it for night vision. I've done a whole video in the past using some other software. I've been using Open ALPR, plus I've been using Frigate with it. It works pretty great. So it is picking up some of these plates and everything. Sometimes I have the UniFi Ubiquity stuff pick up on the date time stamps. And it also picks up on a lot of other stuff that is not plates. Like for instance, it's going to pick up on when someone pulls up, it actually, let me pause it for this lady here. It actually will pick up on the inspection stickers. So I know they need to work on some of the models with that because that's definitely not a plate. It doesn't look like a plate, and Frigate doesn't pick up the plate. And Frigate's a free software, so maybe they should copy some of their stuff out of there to pick up the proper plates. But you can see 998 dab, and yeah, there's a 998 dab right there. But where are the issues I have with the LPR? I'm hoping and wishing that the whole Edge AI thing inside the NVR, I mean, they have Edge AI latency and all the things that's supposed to pick up more things and be able to search things. Can we just build LPR straight in without needing to do the AI port? Is it too much for the additional things that you can do in here? Is that what their only thing they're going to use it for right now? Is like they find anything? Because that's the only additional thing I've found with this little Edge AI versus what I can get on the UCG fiber. And I can say I'm probably kind of disappointed at this time. I wish it would do a little more based on the cost of things with this NVR. So the G6 180 does pick up the actual plates and everything. So in my driveway, you can see me here when I'm pulling out. But the only issue that I have that I want to really talk about is I had this working so well before, but then after some updates of Protect or firmware or something, it broke it. And that is the night plates. And you can see it picked up last night 3 plates. I'm like, well, that was just all. It was a quiet night. Well, that would be a really quiet night for my area where they had this choke point at. And for night plates, if you're curious, yeah, this is what you really need to have. Is you can see that the car, and that's all you really want to see is the actual plate. You can't see anything else with the car, which is totally understandable. So, because if you try to get everything with the car, you're going to blow out the lens and you'll just get this white plate. It's just totally washed out. Been doing night plates forever and did it in Frigate. I wanted to jump over. If you want to see Frigate, here you go. So Frigate, if you haven't seen it, it's a free software. I have it running as a Docker container on my Unraid server. And there's that's funny. That's that actually same plate that we saw there, that GUL8778. This has a little more stuff to it. I can trigger off like MQTT and everything. I'm sure I could do that probably with some web hooks off of UNVR G2, but it would need to detect the plate for that to work. Because watch, check this out. I'm gonna roll back. This is the same exact camera. I have two feeds going to this camera, so it should be pretty much the same, you would think. So the first plate it picked up was actually at what time? It was at 9:26 p.m. So we're looking for that 997 JJE, I think it was. Yeah. So here it is. Again, these are 150 feet plates, and they come out great. Frigate picks them out. You can actually see it says GUL 8778, and there it is. Now let's scroll on and see how many other plates did we have overnight that it missed. And yeah, I'm still scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And then we're getting into the day stuff there. So yeah, we missed quite a few plates. When did we pick up start 11 right here? And so there's the same exact plate. Let me close this at the tab. I'm confusing myself. So we missed a lot of plates. I haven't compared during the day to see how many plates it may have missed during the day. But you can see Frigate usually does a pretty good job. It'll pick up on some stuff. I had some washout right there because of the way the sun is, but I'm not seeing any inspection stickers and other random stuff. Normally I'm seeing a good job on plates. That was the first one I saw was that Cox stuff right there, and I guess that text on that bumper. So definitely for LPR, there definitely needs to be a lot work on the models for the LPR for this NVR combined with the AI port. Maybe they can combine it all together. So I know it's kind of long rant and everything. There's that clip there, that flood. And it's if you're gonna do it with third-party cameras, skip the real link. Um, I guess that brings us to would you buy one? Um, I hope the software evolves. Like I say, I did buy this with my own funds, so this is like totally unbiased viewpoint on this. I was kind of disappointed for the whole AI stuff that was in here, and I was hoping for a little bit more than just being able to search for different things in the videos, like for me being able to search, for like the pink shorts and stuff like that. I was hoping that it will spill over into not needing to do the like AI ports. That maybe I know it wouldn't support a whole lot of them, but being able to search some of that video as well, because then if I buy, I still don't want to swap all my good cameras out that have really good color night vision that are Dahua. I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of AI ports. And yeah, I knew that kind of going into this, but it gets really weird. I was kind of hoping this would allow me to get rid of my blue iris box that I have like 20 cameras on that works with everything, and maybe even possibly get rid of the frigate need for doing all the things of looking up for people and packages and everything. But I don't see that just yet in this being able to do like a lot of different object detection as of yet. But maybe that'll come with different software updates and everything. But as I explore more into this, as software gets updated, and I know I did see some weird stuff in the apps for the Ubiquity, Protect UniFi app. It shows as like an AI controller, but then in the switches are weird. And yeah, you can definitely tell they've got some software to work on there. So long story on would you buy one? I would probably hold off for right now. And because it's kind of that typical thing with Ubiquity where I know they tried to get the hardware out the door and get it in everybody's hands, but kind of wait for the software to evolve. I'm hoping this one really gets better. Definitely keep an eye on this one. I think it has great potential if they continue to develop things on that. So that'll about do it for this one. I do appreciate all the Patreon members and YouTube members. Definitely couldn't do it without you. And yep, y'all know the drill. Press all them buttons and y'all take care.